Hey everybody, welcome to the Multifamily Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Peterson, and man, I am excited to get this episode started. Today we're going to talk about, we're going to do it solo today. I'm a little teaching, a little education today. We do have a lot of good guests coming up, so stay tuned for that. But right now, I just really want to talk about something that I think I've been dealing with. And I think a lot of you will start to deal with this too, and that is opportunity cost. So we're gonna talk about opportunity cost, what that is, what it means to you, why you should be paying attention, and then also we're really gonna get a little bit into cap rates, interest rates, what's going on in the future, what we see, what we believe will happen in this next, in the economy going forward, and why we still think that it's a great time to be investing in real estate, especially the multifamily sector. But with that said, a quick word from our sponsors.
At Kahuna Investments, we partner with passive investors to create award-winning communities families love to call home. If you want to learn more about our company and our process, go to www.kahunainvestments.com and click the deal room.
All right, so we're back. So listen, I am getting ready to do my last Kahuna boardroom, guys. This is a 3-day intensive event that we hold in Phoenix, Arizona. I normally sell this. I've sold it up to $7,500. Normal cost, I think, lately has been around $5,000. We are going to give it away for $1,500, right? For $1,500, you can get into the Kahuna boardroom. And dude, what we do for you there is absolutely amazing. This is going to be my last event, my last teaching event that I'm going to do in 2022. I probably will only do one a year from here on out. And the reason for that is simply this. I'm a multifamily investor, buyer, operator. I love to educate. But I've found that, man, it takes a lot of work to do all these events and stuff like that. So I've limited myself to just doing one. And I'm telling you, what we do in this for that boardroom is it's superb, right? We do a lot of done for you. Like, I'll teach you how to find deals. I'll teach you how to find money. I'll give you all my forms, all my swipe files, everything that you would ever need. And then something special that we do is we create a credibility kit for you. And we custom do it. We custom do it with your logo, your colors. I have a graphic artist on my team that puts this together for you, and it is top notch. And one of the cool things that we do for you is we add me as one of your partners, so then you can share in your credibility kit. You get to have all my properties as your properties. Now, I'm just going to tell you, just for that alone, it is worth its weight in gold. But so $1,500. To get that, go to kahunaboardroom.com. So kahunaboardroom.com. Go there right now. And we're only selling 60 seats, and 25 of them are already taken. Okay, so, and it's April, I think it's April 21st through the 23rd. It could be the 22nd through the 24th. I should know this. My wife has it in my calendar. But it'll be on the website, so just make sure you go there as quickly as possible. Those seats, I promise you, will fill out quickly. And we've never given this thing away for this cheap. And it is going to be spectacular. So long plug here in the beginning before I get into what I really want to talk about, but I'm just passionate. I love teaching that event, by the way. I really love it. What I've learned, though, is that even though I truly love teaching, I love my company and my company's success more. And so I have a really, and this is a good lesson for everybody listening right now, okay? And I'm going to tell you, I practice what I preach. If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you'll always hear me talk about, sunsets and palm trees, living the cash flow life, right? Taking your family and your stuff and putting it first and then putting your business has to fit in the cracks. That's the only way I do it, right? And so when you put in, my kids are, in high school, they got sports, they got games, they've got events. I put all that stuff, I have vacations, all that stuff gets calendared first. And then my business has to fit in the cracks. And one of the cracks one of the businesses was the education business was taking way too much and consuming too much time that I wasn't willing to give up. And so I had to then figure out how I'm going to do it. And so we just said, we're only going to do this event one time a year. And so anybody that's went to it, I'm telling you, they have all come out saying, man, that is the best event that I've ever been to. And I think you'll find if you will take me up on that offer of $1,500, it probably will be the best $1,500 you'll ever spend in 2022. Okay. So, anyways, I wanted to bring that up real quick, and I'm going to hurt and fly off the seat of my pants here, and I normally have this already, but I've not even done it. So let's just go over to iTunes and see if anybody has given us any new reviews, because that seems to happen quite often, and I love it when you guys take the time to do it. So let's just see here. A little slow today. Up. You know what? It's making me log in. I'm not even going to mess with it. So with that said, we'll wait to the next episode. Oh man, I'm having a wonderful day today. I don't know about you guys, but man, I woke up just filled with energy. My last episode, I talked about you are enough, right? That you have it, that you have unique gifts and you can do it. And I promise you, that is I believe it in my soul that can be you. You can do whatever you put your mind to, guys. So keep that in your forefront of your mind as we talk about opportunity cost. So let me set this one up a little bit for you guys, and so what I'm talking about. So what is opportunity cost? Well, opportunity cost is doing one thing and then not being able to do another, right? In other words, if I'm looking at some deals and I'm just like, you know what? I've got this deal in front of me. I'm going to take this deal. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go under contract. Well, a lot of times that allows you to not be able to do a deal that comes right next behind it, right? Usually you can kind of do one deal kind of at a time, or maybe get some headway where you can do one or two deals at a time, right? But every deal has opportunity cost. And so what I mean by that is, so I'll give you an example. I had a deal. We're working, one of my students is working a deal, and it's a good deal in the beginning, right? So it really had all the makings of a great deal until we found a little underwriting mistake in it, right? But so we're looking at this deal and we're going through it, and it makes sense, right? But then if I do a deal with a student, then I have to look at, okay, well, I had another deal that I was waiting on to do as well, right? That was a deal that I'd found that I procured. And so then, and the one that we were looking at with my student was, it was like a $40 million deal. It was a really big one, right? And almost like a $15 million raise. And, last year we raised, I think, $23 million worth of private capital. And we did it rather successfully. And so here is a big $40 million deal, which would, last year we did $65 million in acquisition. So 40 is like 2/3 of the way on one deal. Now, I truly was excited about it because I would love to start out the year with that momentum, right? I'm like, oh, we might do $80-90 million this year. So, it was really a good opportunity. But then you also have a deal that another deal that I was looking at that was my deal, right? Where I had found it, because when one of my students bring a deal, we're going to procure and create a carve out for them for finding the deal. Are they going to raise some money and all the pieces? And so it starts to get watered down a little bit, right? As far as the GP, the structure. And then you also, because it would be mainly me and my partners or the people that I'm going to put together to go into this GP to fund it. And, what's the cost of me bringing in $10 million of capital for $15 million in that case to this deal? And when I look at your total, really you're looking at your IRR. What are you going to get as how much money are you going to make on this deal? And then saying, okay, well, what's this other deal that I may have potential? Now, I have one we're close, we're in best and final, but I don't have the other one. And that's why they say sometimes one in the hand is better than, two in the bush. And so it really weighs on you saying, if I go and do this deal, then all the other deals that come behind it, I'll have to say no to, because now I'm focused on raising $15 million for this one deal. And, I would say after about 3 or 4 months, I could load up another one, but not back to back, right? At least that's not where I'm at. But I still think we could have done another one 4 months later, right? And so that is and I feel like for you guys, if you're thinking about this kind of stuff, now I'm using examples of bigger deals, okay? But it could be for you guys that are starting out, $1.5 million raise, right? It's a $3 million deal, $1.5 million raise. And you've got another deal, right? If there's a partner, if there's not a partner. So opportunity cost is absolutely real. And don't be afraid to talk about it, right? To say, hey, listen, I've got especially if you have another one in the pipe that's close, you may want to have a little bit of patience and say, hey, man, I got to see where this one goes out before I can commit to this. I mean, be honest with your other partners of where you're at. And what you'll find is a lot of people, at the end of the day, will understand. They'll work with you, I think. At least that's what's happened to me, is and say here's the other part. Or you negotiate your other deal to make it work. And so that's a lot of things. What I'll do is say, hey, listen, I've got this deal that I can do on my own, and here's what it pays me, and it's way better than this deal. So I've got to make sure that I'm not just losing to do this deal. So if we can make it look kind of the same way, then I'm more than happy to go do this deal. And I believe that's the art of the negotiations, right? When you have some leverage, when you know what you can bring to the table, you'll take that and you can use that as, real capital, real substance to negotiate from. And all it does is allow you to have a better even playing field with what you're trying to do. Because if you're the guy that's raising all that and you have all the pieces, so you've got to just make sure that that it works correctly. So anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like what happens is when we have these deals and these opportunities costs, a lot of us don't even think about it. You just take the deal in front of you. As you'll start to mature in the business, then you got to say, well, listen, I really only want to take the really good deals. I'll take some base hits, when they're out there, but I'm really looking for doubles and triples, and maybe once in a while you get a home run. But the singles are not that sexy, right? And I know that some people will say, oh no, Corey, you got to take a base hit if you get a base hit. Yeah, you can, but just be better at getting doubles, right? Finding a little bit better deal, negotiating a little bit better for your gain, I don't think is ever a bad mistake. So get better at negotiating the kind of structures and the deals that you want, and they'll come find you, right? And set your parameters, right? Know what your value is. A lot of times in these partnerships, I see people give away 50% like it's nothing. And I'm going to tell you, I think that's a shame. You shouldn't give up, that much so quickly. When you're being able to put everything else together. Now, I say that, and I'm usually talking to myself because I have a big heart. I want to make everybody happy. So that was a lesson to me because I really want, to make good, solid deals based on, what I have and make sure everybody's happy with it. So, opportunity cost, guys, is real, and you have to pay attention to it. So let's talk about then cap rates and kind of, understanding that's part of the opportunity cost is understanding your deal metrics, right? And so cap rates right now are still compressed. Inflation is very high. It's running rampant. I mean, we see it in our business a lot right now. We're raising rents each and every month. And things are going pretty damn good right now, and it's a blessing. But the Fed has already signaled that they are going to start raising interest rates. Right, they're every quarter probably going to be a rate increase. So here's kind of my words of wisdom to you now. If you can place debt right now on new buildings, new properties that are already can get the best Freddie or Fannie or agency debt, I will tell you, I would try to lock up as long of a note as possible. 15 years, maybe 20 years. Especially if it's agency debt like Freddie or Fannie, where you can add a supplemental, right, or a second. Those deals right there, I think, are the ones that I'm most attracted to. Now, what I've seen, though, is a lot of sometimes you have a deal that's agency, and then I've had it where, hey, let's not use agency. Let's do a bridge debt because they'll finance 70% of the capex. Well, that's great, but you're really giving yourself into a lot of interest rate risk, right? So we're going to talk about risk a little bit today, but interest rate risk is if you don't lock in now and you wait, well, what happens, 4 years from now? Well, rates could be totally different, and your deal could be totally different. And so be very, very, very careful in your underwriting right now as it pertains to rates, right? And what rates will be. They've already signaled that rates are going up. They will go up. But here's the other caveat to that. And interest rates are going up, to combat inflation. And so that means inflation's high. And I don't think interest rates are going to go up enough or fast enough to combat inflation. So inflation's still going to rear its ugly head, and it's going to keep pushing for a while, for at least the next 2 or 3 years anyways. So even though there is interest rates going up, I believe inflation is going to overshadow that, and I don't think it's going to matter a whole hell of a lot, right? But my first and best would be to do as much as I can to lock up as much real estate as I can in long-term debt, right? So with that, cap rates will probably start to ease up, maybe. That one, I don't have a crystal ball on that. I just know interest rates are going up. Cap rates are just, they are super compressed. And so I'm trying to buy newer buildings, the newer stuff as I can instead of the old stuff, because I feel like even the old stuff trades at what, a 19 or 2000 building you should trade for. So why buy, a 60-year-old building when you can buy, a 1990s product, 2000 product that's 20 years old. So I've been trying to focus on those types of deals. And it's done really well for us. So that is kind of my crystal ball into the marketplace. Hopefully, this has been a really educational piece. This is not a long episode today, but I just wanted to get it off my chest that the things that I have to deal with, right? So opportunity cost is real, my friends, right? Making sure you choose the best deal to, especially if it's your first one, guys. If it's your first deal, I mean, you want to come out with a solid deal, not a base hit. A solid deal, right? Something that has some meat on it. So be patient, my friend. Take the time. It does. You don't have to do lots of volume in this game. You just have to do 1 or 2 deals a year. Really, 1 deal a year will set you free, my friends. Ask me how I know. And, be consistent in that, right? Do a deal every year. And find the right deal, right? Life's too short to do small deals, to do deals that are going to make you stay up at night. So take the time, walk through the process, put on all your armor and do your best, guys. If you guys will do that, I'm telling you, success is right around the corner. It doesn't take a whole hell of a lot. It does take gumption. It takes some, persistence. But I think in anything in life that's worth achieving, it takes a little bit, and it takes time. Give yourself the time and the freedom to not make the game changer mistakes that take you out forever, right? Be methodical, go through this process, understand that opportunity cost is real, but don't be afraid, do your best. I'm telling you guys, put your mind to it. If you believe it, you can achieve it, and your paradise is possible.